in bedroom, I be in the zone. Gazing at the walls, depressed, digging the bone. They take it personal, but only your mind if you could understand what a nigga feeling. 41st till I die, motherfuckers. I'm still breathing, you for blood, so we full bread. You ain't my dog, trying to infiltrate the clique issue. I get with you, into that on a later note. We overdose every day to death, we so close. I'm trying to tell these cats, but I let them do their thing. Ready for the bad news till the phone ring. Son is dead now, anyway, over my head. Seeking revenge, son, on your behalf, trying to laugh out the drill gun. Conceal guns, play the hum, for real sons. For you motherfucking hoes.
Hello everyone, welcome to another live stream. So give me just a few seconds to set everything up. Okay, we have sound. That is good. Let's see. Yeah, we should be working fine. So I hope everyone is doing well. Hope you're having a good week in the markets. We had quite a lot of activity on the US dollar. Definitely on the US dollar. Let me just open up my chat here. So pop out the chat. Hey AV, what's up? Welcome to the stream. So I'm just still setting up all of my things. Yeah. So we had quite a reaction on the DXY. It's steadily going down, so steadily losing value. Hey young learner, welcome to the stream. Good morning as well, depending on where you're from. At my place it's currently 5 p.m. In Croatia, so it's totally dark outside. Pretty funny. The dollar has been the main spotlight this week. So we had the Fed decision, which was yesterday. Let me also open up my Edge Finder, which I forgot to do. Edge Finder, let's put it here. Fed, federal funds rate, economic projections, statement, press conference. Dovish. The whole event was pretty, not super dovish, but it was definitely dovish, which did help out my positions quite a lot. So I do have a long running, or I closed it now. So I had a long on the euro dollar. I also had a long on NZD USD. Looks like I closed it a bit prematurely because it's now running, but you never know with this stuff. You can never time the trades 100% perfect. There's always going to be times where you miss out on some percentage. Get out a bit sooner or get out too late, just part of the game. So the euro dollar position is now closed. I'm out of this trade. And NZD USD, I'm out of that position as well. So those both are closed. TradingView is a bit slow today, so I do apologize for the lagging TradingView. I don't know why. Every 2 weeks TradingView seems to lag. Do you guys have the same experience? You can put it in the comments. I've talked to some other traders and they experience it sometimes, but not often. I experience it really often. And I tried like quitting the app, putting it back, doesn't fix it. This is the second trade. This is the second position. So NZD USD. Now I'm out. So caught a really nice trade. I think this was a 2.19 to 1, and the euro dollar was, let's see, I think like a 2 to 1 reward to risk. And also you may be wondering, why did I exit these positions manually? So why did I close these positions, which I will explain, of course. Also, they were a nice profit on like my funded account that I can maybe bring up. I'll try to bring it up on the phone and then show it to the camera. So euro dollar 1.94 to 1. I can actually, what I can do is go to my Darwinex. We can go to my Darwinex 0 and see how that looks. So I'll log into my Darwinex so that I can actually show you how the track record is going. It's not going that great, but it's not bad either. I didn't have like a rockstar year. Okay, let's see. Okay. And for some reason I do have 25k under management. I'm not sure why. I think there was some sort of a bonus with Darwinex where you got 25k unlocked. Can I withdraw this? Is it possible to withdraw? And yeah, 24 profitable, 25 currently profitable, which is nice. I'm happy with that. If I have this under management, should I be able to withdraw this? I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, getting back to the charts. Hey Sluggy, what's up? Welcome to the stream. So, why did I close these positions? Why didn't I trail my stop loss? What changed my mind? I personally believe that these positions looked a bit overextended. So I just did a live stream and I talked about overbought and oversold conditions, which I think Sluggy, you sent me a comment on that. I saw it in my like pop-up. I don't really trade off of overbought or oversold like RSI, so I don't really use RSI. But price action is a different thing. Price action usually, when it looks like this, when it's exploding higher, when it's very far away from the 20 MA, especially on the currencies. So if it's on silver or on gold or on the Nasdaq, it can go up, it can explode up much, let's say, more far away from the 20 MA. But with Forex, you don't really get massive trends that go away from the 20 MA. Like this was one of them. This was one example. But they don't happen so often. So Sluggy says, I was joking, the RSI thing. Yeah, I know you were. It's okay. I just also wanted to kind of clarify that because if someone joined the prior stream, they may be a bit confused because I said I wasn't using overbought or oversold, but now I'm kind of using overbought, oversold, so it could be a bit confusing. Also getting some messages on the side. Euro dollar looked a bit overextended, decided to close it. This was a big reaction yesterday off of the Fed. You know, everyone crammed into USD shorts. I think it's a good opportunity to take some profits. Take some profits for the end of the year, especially. It is now the 11th of December. We are approaching the year's end. So I think banking some profits is the way to go. You can also see on my Darwinex, for example. So I'm positive plus 1.43% for December, which is good. It's okay. August was pretty tough. I'm not sure what I took in August, but I think it was Bitcoin maybe? I'm not sure. Anyway, so December plus 1.43 and yeah, just grinding it out in the markets. NZD USD pretty much the same thing. So Joshua says 6-7. So welcome Joshua to the stream. Hi Marco, hope you're having a day. Hello Yusuf, welcome to the stream. I wanted to share, I've recently started using for finding edge on buying the dips on indices S5FI. I'm not sure what that is. We can take a look at that as a ticker. So NZD/USD, same thing. I kind of used the Fed meeting as a means of squeezing out the most out of these USD shorts and catching some profits. So for the new guys that maybe just joined, there was a Fed meeting yesterday and it was pretty dovish. So the meeting was pretty dovish, made the dollar lose a lot of value. I don't think this is going to last for a long time. I think we should get a pullback sooner or later, which I can then, of course, buy the dip if it does pull back. So if it does pull back closer to the 20 MA, I can look to get in again. So I can look to buy NZD/USD again, or maybe buy euro dollar once again. That could be pretty interesting. And let me also quickly go through this allocations. Here it is. So estimated performance fees. So for some reason, Darwinex was offering a free 25K allocation. So I basically have the total P&L on the current allocation, 25K is 412 euros. So my performance fees are 61.95 euros coming on the 3rd of February 26. And that's when the allocation is ending. So yeah, looks like that's about it for this 25K 25K allocation. And this is the equity curve if anyone is interested for my Darwinex journey. So maximum equity was 15% last year. Then I got into some trouble with my previous strategy, with the technical strategy. Now I'm trading the fundamental strategy. And yeah, it's going okay. It's going nice, still polishing things. And I'm also not taking every single setup on this account, by the way. So there are some things that are missing from this account that are in, let's say, my personal IC Markets account, because Darwinex is actually pretty limited when it comes to things you can trade, when it comes to assets, sort of assets tradable. What was the equity high here? 10.54. Okay, interesting. Let's get back to the charts. So I still like dollar shorts, but I would like to see a bit of a pullback. I would like to see the price go a bit closer to the 20 MA. DXY is still melting lower, no doubt about that. One interesting currency pair is the Aussie dollar. Did we have the Aussie? We had the employment change, which came in kind of mixed. So we had the employment change numbers today. Employment was negative, but the unemployment rate fell by 0.1%. So that is a bit mixed. I would say net negative, most likely. Aussie dollar kind of break even on the day. But I'm looking at the Aussie. I'm looking at all of the fundamental reasons why Aussie should go up. And right now, it's not such a bad situation. We're getting some good data out there. The metals market is flying, like silver and gold are flying. And one thing that I know about the Aussie, so Australia's economy is highly, highly dependent on the metals market. So if the metals market is going higher, if metals are going up in value, the Aussie should be going up as well. I think there is XLE. No, that's the energy. XME, metals and mining. Metals and mining. So, see, here it is. This ETF represents the metals and mining industry. It has just been massively exploding higher. So it looks super, super healthy. See? as this thing keeps going higher, it should help bring the value of the Aussie up as well. Also, the Aussie is trying to break out. Come on, let's load. Okay, this is gonna take like 10 minutes of the stream if I'm gonna have to wait for the chart to load. Let's see what you guys are saying until we load. FOMC felt like Christmas. For me, kind of, yes. My positions just exploded higher. Yusuf says my keyboard is acting up. Okay, now 6-7 jokes all the way. Hello Bashi, welcome. Mario Gang, yes, Mario Gang. Robohola, I'm not sure where Robo is. Theoretically, if you buy indices at the bottom of S5 FI, you'd make money. Interesting. I haven't heard anything about that, but let's finish Aussie dollar and then I can take a look at that. So Aussie dollar just at this resistance level, and I think we can break out. I think there is some strength for this to break out. If I go to the edge finder, let's see, AUD USD, bullish reading. You know what? Let me put AUD USD on the watch list. So here it is. Yeah, this is good. AUD USD, looking for buy setups. Pretty interested. I think Aussie can definitely fly out of this flat channel. It has been flat for a very long time now. Maybe time for a liftoff. Fundamentals are bullish. Macroeconomics are bullish. Edge finder is bullish as well. Technical analysis, well, technicals are not the best. Technically, we are stuck in a range right there, so we're still pretty flat. But if we can break out with momentum, I'll be highly interested to get in on some buy setups. The first, I would say, major level of resistance is right here. So we have quite a lot of free room to go higher. Pound Aussie is also something I wanted to take a look at. I did have a sell on the Pound Aussie. I was betting on the pound weakness, Aussie strength. Unfortunately, it didn't work. So unfortunately, I did get taken out. I'm not interested to get back in again, but let's see. Yeah, if I didn't get taken out here, it would have been an okay setup. So let me unlock it. Let's make it a bit bigger and lock it back again. If you guys are like trading using TradingView or charting using TradingView, just put your reward to risk tool every time you take a setup and lock it so you know where you took a trade and you know your trade history, not just in your journal, and you must be journaling. I highly recommend you guys journal, but you also have all of your setups on TradingView as well. I find it really, really helpful. So Pound Aussie kind of not following through a lot. Interesting. So I did want to check that out. Now let's take a look at S5 FI. S&P 500 stocks above the 50-day average index. Okay, interesting. Very choppy chart. Very, very choppy chart. But are you referring to this bottom maybe? So if the price goes back to here and then I buy, yeah, looks interesting, but I'm having issues with the loading of the chart. I'll let it run for a while and see if it loads. So I need to scroll further. Okay. Okay, it looks pretty cool. Don't depend on it much, but it's a nice confluence for the arsenal. Dog shit is the technical term. I'm only targeting USD stuff for now. Juicy. Volatility index, exactly, there you go. Okay, looks pretty good. So I can definitely spot the bottom of this range. And I'm guessing if the stock market hits this range, so if this basket of stocks hits the lower part of the range, you should go into stocks. Okay, this is super nice. Definitely gonna save this one for future use, for future reference. Because I love buying stocks at a discount. If we get another event on the S&P or the NASDAQ like we did for the tariffs, when Trump came in with some crazy stuff, that would be great. I heard from Nick, like Trader Nick, that he sometimes dreams of there being another stock market crash, another massive pullback, so that he can buy stocks for cheap, which is a pretty funny dream. Okay, let's see. This. If we can get this again, that would be great. If we can get a massive discount. And if this happens, best thing to do is have some cash at the ready, put it into your broker, because it sometimes takes 2, 3, 4 business days for the money to hit your broker, but you just buy the dip. So you just get in on these massive pullbacks. Most of the time, if not all of the time, the market just continues going higher. If it doesn't continue going higher, that probably means it is the end of the world or the US does not exist anymore. So it's either buy the dip or we're all dead pretty much. Nick's wet dreams are buying stocks at a discount. That's at least what he says, yeah. So I also know Nick holds some gold and some silver in like a physical form, which is pretty interesting. Is that like an indicator or can you trade it? I don't think you can trade what Sluggy mentioned. So S5 FI. I don't think you can trade this, but you can use it as okay, pretty cool. But you can use it as sort of a confluence for buying stocks, and it's all about stacking the confluences, the probabilities in your favor. I never heard of a trading edge where, okay, maybe there is some, but usually when professional traders take a position, when they buy or they sell, there's usually multiple things that they are looking at, multiple things that they are taking into account. So they're stacking multiple confluences, they are assembling a puzzle, and then they are getting the trades. Like, for example, I do want to do a video about it, but for my NZD USD position, there were a couple of things that made me go in. So there were multiple reasons. First reason was the Fed at this point was considered to be dovish. That is bearish for the dollar. Then you had the RBNZ at this point. RBNZ went from hawkish or from dovish to hawkish, which is a great pivot. So the New Zealand dollar went from losing a lot of value to potentially gaining value in the future. That's the second confluence. So we can actually list it. Let's say first is the Fed, second is the RBNZ, third, new RBNZ chairman. Let's do it here. Okay. Then you also have chairman. Then you also have Edge Finder. Edge Finder was bearish. It was bullish. I think it still is bullish. Let's see. NZD USD. Yeah, still bullish. You can also check out the history, by the way. I think you guys already know about this, but if you want to do some backtesting, which I personally have done backtesting with the Edge Finder, works pretty well. You can see the previous score, and pretty much from the 27th of November, we have just been getting bullish scores. So Edge Finder, there's an uptrend or kind of momentum up. What does that mean? I would say that you had a lot of selling pressure and then you had a massive blue candle, which is actually similar to what I traded for my previous strategy. Like I would look for a lot of selling pressure, and then I would look for a massive candle that counters that selling pressure, and then I would buy on this candle. So that's basically it, momentum up. And you already have 5 confluences. So you already have 5 major reasons to buy this particular trade, which gives you a pretty good edge, stacks the probabilities in your favor, and in the end, price goes up. Again, it's not 100% of the time. Your edge, the win rate is around, I think, 55%, maybe 60% if you're very, very good at trading, but it's all about having winners bigger than your losses. I also heard or read a quote from a professional trader recently that it's not hard to predict the markets. It's not hard to predict that the NZD/USD will go up, or that the DXY will go down, or that gold will go up, or silver will continue going higher. What is tough, what is actually hard, is structuring a trade. So where would you enter? What's your stop loss? What's your take profit? What if you get taken out prematurely? How much should you risk? So that's the hardest part. There's quite a lot of people who can be right a lot, so they can predict the markets, but when it comes to executing trades, when it comes to structuring the trades, they get stopped out all the time. So they get stopped out too often, or even worse, they risk too much. So when they lose the house, basically. Hello FXCLE, welcome to the stream. So let's continue. TradingView has speed up a bit. Look at this. Damn, so fast, so fast. A quick update as well for you guys. I'm sure most of you know this already, but I did pass the phase 1 of this DNA funded challenge, passed phase 2, and now I'm in the funded stage. Unfortunately, in the funded stage, I'm down $2,000. I didn't get a payout. And by the way, this challenge is purely traded by ChatGPT trade signals. So if I show you, if you have been following my channel, you would already know about this. But essentially every single day I come to ChatGPT and I tell ChatGPT, give me 2 trades, one on the S&P and one on a major currency pair of your choice. So this is the conversation I had today. Essentially, I told ChatGPT, you got taken out of both positions, give me new trades for today, continue the simulation, new trades. So yeah, I just need to give the current SPX and current USDN prices. See, gave the price, and then you have the exact positions. So this is how the simulation is currently going. Worked out well so far. Now I'm down minus 4%. Not really happy with it. Kind of stings, but because I thought we were gonna at least get a payout before I get into drawdown, part of the game. So continuing to do the challenge, we will see how it works out. I cash out at a 1-to-1 for a 70% win rate. I hate the small target, but it's better than excessive losing streaks. Well, you can structure your trades like that as well. It can be done. So you can do, let's say, my stats are, I think, 1.8 to 1 with around a 45% win rate. Those are my stats. What you can do is, let's say, a 1-to-1 with maybe like a 65% win rate. I would say that's definitely achievable. 60-65%. Even if it's 60%, that's still fine. You know what casinos have? Casinos have 55% win rate with like a 1-to-1, let's say. But it's still, if a casino has a 55% win rate with a 1-to-1 reward to risk, if 1,000 customers come in, the casino makes money, okay? So just, it's all about the probabilities. And if you look at a casino roulette table, you're gonna notice that basically you choose black or red, but green is number 0, and that's for the house. So essentially it's not 50-50 on a roulette table. It's actually 52%, I believe, for the casino and 48% for you, because 0 is for the house. You can also see it here. So if see here 0, it's green. That's what gets people, because they don't know about probabilities. They think that 0 is this neutral territory because it's green. They are not certain that that the 0 is for the house, but it is. Geez, Marco, leave some of that DNA money for us, folks. Yeah, thank you for the feedback, Sluggy. I'll try to squeeze out the most that I can. We will see how it works out. If GPT flops the live account, I'm gonna be upset. Yeah, that would be pretty bad. Why 1.8 to 1, not 8.2 to 1? Well, those are just my stats. It's not fixed, so I don't go into every single position with that sort of a reward to risk. But according to my back testing and history, my average reward to risk is around 1.8 to 1. So this trade, for example, I got out for 2.19 to 1. Euro dollar, I closed for 1.94 to 1. But let's see, silver, I closed for 0.59 to 1 because I got taken out prematurely. What else positions did I have? I had quite a lot of positions. Let me check. In my Notion. So in my trade journal, let's see, trade journal, live trade journal. NZDJPY was a position. Yeah, a quick scalp. A quick scalp that I took. See, here it is. This one was a 1.5 to 1. By the way, this was a bet on the RBNZ. So this was on the 25th of November. If we go to the 25th of November, this was the bet on the RBNZ. So I did some research. I followed some traders, Brent Donnelly mainly, and he stated that on this event, the RBNZ will most likely pivot from being hawkish, or from being dovish to being hawkish. So from cutting rates to maybe raising rates. If you look at the New Zealand interest rate, right there, they have been cutting like crazy. So from 5.5 to now 2.25. That is pretty aggressive in terms of rate cuts. But they made a pivot on the last meeting. They went from cuts to possible higher rates in the future. What does that do to the value of the New Zealand dollar? It makes it go up. So higher rates, currency goes up. Lower rates, currency goes down. It was a quick trade, quick pivot. Worked out this time, closed it right a few hours after the meeting with a fixed stop loss. So just the top of the range, I was targeting the top of this range, this upper resistance, and this was 1.5 to 1. So essentially, if you add up all of those trades, you add up NJ, you add up silver, where's this position? You add up silver position, you add up NZD/USD position, you add up Aussie dollar, nope, Euro dollar, sorry. You get, I would say 1.8 to 1, maybe. That is kind of the median. So yeah. Just got here. Welcome, Alex. So, Marco, do you like NZD CAD long play since market structure is still intact? NZD CAD we can definitely go over. So, NZD CAD. Let's see. So as far as the NZD CAD goes, I definitely like the New Zealand dollar. I'm definitely bullish the New Zealand dollar, especially with the pivot with the central bank going from dovish to hawkish, Great environment. So a great market environment. CAD has recovered a bit. You know, CAD, in my opinion, was one of the worst currencies in the markets because Canada was really struggling. NZD CAD. Bullish reading. For Canada, I was looking at the unemployment rate. We had 7.1 as the highs, then we went down to 6.9 and then 6.5. So at these points, I was very bearish on the CAD. I was actually in USD CAD. So I was buying USD CAD. Let's see, net, what did I do? So I took a loss, 1.27, took a loss and took a break even on this one. So around break even overall, I would say, maybe even negative on USD CAD. But I was trying to get in. I was trying to catch the uptrend. That was the main goal. So I was super bearish on the CAD. Recent numbers are a bit concerning for that stance. So recent numbers actually saw some improvement in the value of the CAD. Again, unemployment seems to be going down. They seem to be able to get out of trouble, right? So NZD CAD, I would say I don't have a clear bias. If I had to give you a bias, it would be a bullish one. So I would rather buy than sell. But I think New Zealand is super strong while the CAD may be gaining some momentum, may be gaining some strength, right? So yeah, that's definitely good. That's definitely good to see that the CAD is recovering a bit, but it makes a bit of trouble for my positions. I got the whole picture, so you want CAD to print some more positive data points before committing. Yeah, basically. So if we can print some better data, if the unemployment can go down a bit more, if the GDP for Canada can improve a bit, so have some steady positive GDP numbers, because this year we had quite a lot of negative prints. If we can get some consecutive positive prints, I would love that. Then the CAD may be a good play to buy. Let's see, the CPI for Canada, 2.2%. 2.2%. Okay, interesting. Yeah, not bad. Inflation is not a problem. So if it's around 2%, it's fine. Sheesh Marcos got tons of ads on stream. I just paid for dinner or something. I don't know how much ad revenue is. Oh shit. I know that there's a way to like control the number of ads. If it's too much, and I can see that it's too much, I'm gonna reduce it. I know there's a setting somewhere in the stream. So thank you for the heads up, and I'll note it down. Let me actually make a reminder. I'll make a note to make it a bit more manageable, because I hate ads, to be honest. But also I make ad revenue, so I need to balance it between a good number of ads without being too crazy on you guys viewers. AdSense for live stream. Okay. Got it. An interesting analysis I came across today. Look at Swiss seasonality on Edgefinder Q1 is bearish. Let's see seasonality monthly. Maybe USD Swiss. Okay, yeah. Q1 definitely, well, January is bearish. February is a bit bearish, depending on which currency you look at. Get YouTube Premium. Yeah, YouTube Premium is awesome. So once I switch to YouTube Premium, game changer. You also have YouTube Vanced, which is a way to just get rid of ads for free. But YouTube Premium, I use YouTube Music with that. And it's a family package, so like my girlfriend has it, my brother has it, and it's all paid for with one account. Highly recommended. I don't mind the ads, get that bread. Well, thank you, Josh. But I'll still look into it if it's a bit too crazy. Don't get rid of the ads. Capitalism is the name of the game. Let's rug pull YouTube ad revenue one time. All ads, no content. Yeah, I'm just gonna let the stream run for like 24 hours. I think James did that from like James Elite Traders. He also streams for A1 Trading. He had a 24-hour long live stream, which is absolutely crazy. But I can imagine he got quite a lot of ad revenue from that. So kudos to him. It was a great idea, but I personally could never pull it off. 24-hour streaming, I can barely pull off 1 hour of streaming. I'm watching long setups on Cat Swiss. Let's see, Cat Swiss. Cat Swiss. Neutral reading there. Looking to buy it because it's around the 20 EMA, I'm guessing. Okay, interesting trade idea, I would say. If you get more better data for the CAD, and the CAD is definitely starting to improve, and I also think you mentioned, Sluggy, I think you mentioned that the SNB, Swiss National Bank, is looking for to be dovish, to cut rates. Possibly, maybe. So that is bearish for the currency. Cutting rates, bearish for the currency. We can look at the SNB interest rate. Let's see, trading economics. 5 years. Yeah, they already had negative rates. For quite a long time, they had negative rates. Then they went up to battle inflation, as everyone did. And then they were cutting. Now they're flat. So now they are neutral, but they may go negative again. If they do go negative, that's going to be bearish for the Swiss. And if the CAD keeps improving, if Canada's data keeps improving, like you had the unemployment rate improve, labor unemployment, if it keeps on going lower, that's good. That is bullish for CAD Swiss. Not a bad trade idea, I would say. Pretty interesting. But right now, personally, I like Aussie dollar the most. So Aussie dollar seems to be the most interesting currency pair. One thing I'm waiting for is a breakout. Just a breakout of the flat range. For it to try and break out higher out of the resistance and then show me some momentum. Fundamentally, the trade is there. So fundamentally, it's pretty good. Of course, Aussie connected with the metals market. Silver, gold, exploding higher. I'm not sure about copper. Platinum, bullish. Copper, short-term bullish as well. Long-term, pretty screwed up. Long-term, very tough to trade this. Because it is highly impacted by geopolitics. S&P tone was dovish. They don't mind negative rates. I missed Aussie at the bottom. Weekly 38 on Fib, Aussie dollar missed that entry by a few pips. Okay. So I think you're referring to Aussie dollar and possibly an entry around here. That was actually not a bad play. Getting in at support. It's always good to buy at support. Of course, if you had some fundamentals behind it, even better. So, but at that point, it was November. I wasn't yet bearish on the dollar. I think I flipped bearish right around that time. When did I take NZD/USD? Let me see. NZD/USD I took on the 26th. 26th is around when I flipped bearish on the dollar. This is the candle. Not bad. I should have been maybe a bit quicker. I should have reacted more quickly on the whole dollar bear story, let's say. I was hedging on USD in November. Okay, cool. Let me also think. Is there any other currency pairs that are good right now? Let's see. So if we filter, remove neutral, put this back, remove bullish, remove bearish. No, okay, so we have pound Aussie is still very bearish. Pound Aussie has been super bearish for a long time now. If we go to the score history and GBP AUD, we have been getting a massively bearish score, but the pair just doesn't seem to have what it takes to drop. It seems to be stuck at this level of support. Just doesn't want to go through it. Just doesn't want to go lower. And as I mentioned, I did take a stab at it. I did have an attempt here. Unfortunately, it did not work out. Should I get back in? I'm just not sure about the pound. I'm looking at the UK. I was super bearish on both the CAD and the pound, but recently the UK has been getting some better data. So they have been getting some healthier data. Aussie, I'm definitely bullish on. New Zealand dollar, Aussie, definitely bullish. Let me also see the Aussie AUD interest rate. What is the Aussie central bank doing? Pausing. They're possibly going to get more hawkish in the future, maybe, which is of course bullish for the currency. Hawkish is always bullish for the underlying currency. So I like the Aussie. I'm just not sure about the pound. Let me run through the numbers for the pound. So first, the short term. Webcam is stuck. Okay. Crap. Let me fix that. Sorry about that. What can you even see? Can you see my screen? Okay, so you can see my screen. No, you can't see the screen. 1 second. Video capture. Face cam. Okay, we're back. And window capture. Okay, let me know in the comments if it's working again. Should be working right now, so just let me know in the comments. Okay, looks like we're back. So short-term data, a bit bearish. 40% of the data is coming out better than expected. Let's take a look at the GDP. All over the place still. So the last print was on November and it was negative. Not the best. Inflation, I think inflation is improving. So they are doing something good with the inflation. Yeah, a little bit improving. Let's get the inflation print for December, which it should come out. Yeah, it should come out. So let's see the inflation print for December. And then the unemployment rate. Let's take a look at that. Going higher. Okay, the numbers are still not that great for the UK, if I'm being honest. There has been the autumn budget, which a lot of investors were looking at. It turned out to be a nothing burger. Nothing majorly concerning in it. But as far as just the raw numbers go, it's still not looking the best. What I also want to see, GBP interest rate. Will the Bank of England become hawkish? So they have paused with cuts. Last meeting was November 6th. When is the new meeting? Let's see. So it should be in December, right? I think it should be. BOE. No. Next week. Let's see. Yeah, next week. That's going to be interesting. So let's wait for the next week. See if they get more hawkish or if they are neutral to dovish. If they don't get hawkish, if they are neutral or dovish, I think selling the pound may still be a good play. Yeah, especially against things like pound Aussie, or maybe, did I log this? I did. Maybe GBP NZD. Maybe selling this because the New Zealand dollar should gain value. So that's good. Waiting for that Bank of England. Waiting for the Bank of England decision. Which is right here. We also have the BOJ next week. Okay, BOJ next week. Let's go. Have you watched $1 Million Traders? It's a short YouTube series. A guy starts a small hedge fund with random people that never traded before. Pretty fun. Oh, that's pretty interesting. I may give that a watch. So thanks for the recommendation. Should be pretty fun to watch. Running into profits in Pound Aussie and GPNZD. Okay, awesome. The Trade Crafters Academy. Hello, I'm doing pretty well. How are you? I'll send you my entry on DNA. Yeah, sure. Just send it to my Discord. I sent you my GPNZD on Discord. Take a look. Took partials. Yeah, sure. Let me open it up. Let's see that. Okay. Yeah, I can't really spot the entry, but it's pretty high up there. So good job. But the screenshot is a bit too small, so it's a bit tough to see exactly where your entry is. I think it's around 2.31235, something like that. But anyways, good job, Sluggy. Autumn budget was all yap, no show. Seems like it. Just entered longs on Aussie CAD. Looks good on daily, and fundamentals on Edge Finder look fine as well. Let's take a look. Aussie CAD. Not my cup of tea, if I'm being honest. I would prefer, if you want to do something with the Aussie dollar, with the Aussie, I think Aussie dollar is a better play. I think on the CAD, I don't have a clear reading. I went from bearish to a bit neutral, maybe even a slightly bullish. This technically looks flat. So the price action seems a bit uneventful, if I'm being honest. I would look for a breakout first to look for longs, because there's not a lot of room. What are you targeting? So what is your target? Are you looking at the 1 hour chart maybe? So targeting the highs. If I was looking at the daily chart, I would not look to buy, because we're stuck at a pretty significant level of resistance. So this is going to be a pretty strong level of resistance. I would first prefer to see a breakout and then a retest like this. I think that would be a bit more manageable, so a bit better. But on the Edge Finder, it should look good. Let's take a look. Let's see. AUD CAD. I need to do this. Bullish reading, nice. Okay. Not for me, because we're stuck at resistance. If we were not at resistance, it would be a bit of a different story. Aussie dollar also seems to be stuck at resistance. So on the Aussie dollar, to look for longs, I will also think about maybe a breakout through the resistance. GPNZD, let's see, GBPNZD. So selling it. Let's see the level settings. 2.31882. Okay. Pretty nice. Yeah, looks healthy. I like it. Good job. You do have this sort of trend line going, but you can argue it's been broken as well. So not a bad position. Edge Finder tells you which asset to buy or sell. Finding an entry price is price action's job. Yeah, so by the way, if you guys want to get the Edge Finder, you can use my discount code Marco. Just a quick plug for the software, but as far as I can tell, most of you guys are already using it, which is great to see. So Edge Finder in and of itself is great, but timing is the most important part. So as I mentioned a bit earlier in the stream, it's not so hard to know where the price is gonna go. Like I can tell you right now, silver goes up, euro dollar goes up, NZD/USD goes up, Aussie dollar goes up, SPX goes up, NAS goes up, gold goes up, Bitcoin stays flat, Ethereum goes down, in my opinion. Now, that will most likely, most of those predictions, like maybe 70 to 75% of my predictions will be correct. But the problem now is how can you structure a trade around around that bias? That's the tough part. Where's your entry? Where's your stop loss? Where's your take profit? How much are you risking? So it's the same thing with the edge finder. Most of the time, this is correct. Especially the very bullish and the very bearish scoring. Most of the time it's correct. But the problem is, how do you structure a trade idea around it? That's the hard part, okay? But I love the edge finder because it just makes things very, very simple. It really shortens the time needed to research a specific number, to research a bias, to get an extra confluence. So it's a big time saver. True timing is important, and I'm using edge finder for 2 years now. I just trade based on 4-hour sweeps and demand supply zones. That's why I entered. For me, it's an A setup. Okay, if it works for you, if it fits your plan, then go ahead and just follow the plan. So must follow the plan. And again, if you have an edge, if you know what you're doing, if you did your back testing, if you did your live testing, just stick to the plan and wait for the probabilities to play out. So, silver, let me quickly touch on silver. I think I'm going to remove it from the watch list. It has become so bullish, so explosive that a pullback is not going to happen. I just don't see a pullback happening anytime soon. And I need a pullback. I can't catch the price. I'm not the one to chase the all-time highs. I was looking for a support, pullback to support. I already missed out on a massive move because I was waiting for a pullback here, but that's the game. Maybe I can improve for 2026. So maybe I can be a bit more aggressive. For 2026. This looks super clean, super bullish. Let's check out gold. Gold up on the day, going higher, loving the dollar weakness. Again, as the DXY keeps crashing lower. See euro dollar exploding higher, NZD/USD, okay. Gold and silver will just keep going higher because, of course, gold is paired against the dollar. Sorry, silver and gold is paired against the dollar. Pretty much every commodity, every instrument, every big instrument in the world is paired against the US dollar. So as the dollar keeps losing value, everything else goes up. And I found a really interesting chart of the gold to the S&P ratio. Gold to the S&P. Can we do that? Can we compare the gold to the S&P ratio? Let me try that. If we take gold and we click compare, we click S&P 500. Let's do Vantage. Let's do monthly. Okay, we don't have enough data, so it's not gonna work. Anyways, if you compare the performance of gold to the Nasdaq or the S&P, you would notice that gold was really good. The S&P did not outperform gold by much. What does that mean? That means that the main driver of movement, the main driver of these massive moves, is actually inflation, is actually the devaluation of the dollar. For example, a house that cost, let's say, 50 grand in the 1970s, and let's say it cost 1 gold bar, that same house today, 2025, costs $2 million, but it costs also 1 gold bar. So the same gold bar that would buy you that house in 1970s buys you the same house today, but the house used to cost, let's say, $100,000. Today it's $2 million. Now that's inflation. That is the devaluation of the dollar. That's why things are just skyrocketing higher. So if you look at the S&P, this is not GDP. This is not productivity. There is a little bit of productivity in it, but most of the huge move up is actually inflation. It's actually because the dollar keeps losing value. So I think that's what most people don't understand. The real, let's say, return you get from the S&P when you remove inflation, when you remove all of the printing, I think the real return is around 2, 3, 4% per year, not 10%. Let's see. Silver has been a beast. I've removed gold from my watch list 2 months ago. Gold following that silver move. I think it's just the dollar losing value. At this point, the strategy is to wait for a bearish close and then buy after the next bullish close, pretty much. I missed silver entry exactly from $48. Beast move. Josh, I was thinking of the same when gold broke that monthly range. So hello, Melissa. Welcome to the stream. My sister's physical silver she bought is laughing at me. Congrats to your sister, because this year silver made a crazy return. So is this silver or is this Bitcoin? I'm not sure. If you go to January, up to now, 118% gain in value. That's absolutely crazy. I think Bitcoin, when Bitcoin was pulling these types of numbers, it was like a massive bull market. So just goes to show you how much inflation is there, how much inflation is out there, how much printing they're doing, but also, of course, this is also speculation. So I have to say the current move is silver is fueled by speculation. This move is caused by a lot of people getting in just because the price is moving higher. So they have FOMO, they want to jump in, they want to get in on the uptrend, they want to become rich, so they buy without any underlying fundamental reason. That's also in play here. I have to state that as well. Marco, you were long euro dollar. Yes, so I closed it today. I think this is a nice opportunity for me to get out. I think a pullback is coming. This looks very bullish. I'm trying to get out on this sort of strength after the Fed meeting. While there is a lot of euphoria, while people are very euphoric for selling the dollar, while the DXY is crashing, because I don't believe that this is sustainable. I think a pullback should come sooner or later. We're very far away from 20 MA, and I'm happy to take profits. So yeah. Marco, your euro dollar caught a lot of popularity, but I like your NZD-USD position more. Me too. So NZD-USD for me is even better. I love NZD-USD because of the pivot. So for the RBNZ, I pretty much am sure that they have flipped from dovish to hawkish. It's a perfect storm. If you're looking at two currencies, the biggest influence on currencies is the central bank. So if the Fed is cutting rates, if the Fed is cutting rates, for sure cutting rates, while the RBNZ is raising rates. So let's do it like this. This is the RBNZ and this is the Fed. Raising rates, cutting rates, perfect storm. It doesn't get much better than this scenario. NZD against the dollar just goes up. So you know what, I am actually a bit, not sad, but I wish I risked more, because this was an A+ setup. This was like a 9.5 out of 10, maybe even a 10 out of 10 setup. So I wish I risked a bit more on the position, but I'm still very happy with the turnout. MAs became a very nice add to my strategy, completely wipes the FOMO away. Yeah, MAs are really good. Of course, psychologically, you have to deal with things flying away from you. For example, I can't buy silver. I want to buy silver, but I can't. I could not buy silver at this level. I definitely can't buy it here. It's too far from the 20 MA. I need a pullback. So I need to be patient. Added a few months ago. What EMAs do you use, Slugs? Okay, so Slug, you can put it in the chat. That would be about it from me. Thank you very much for watching. This was a lot of fun. So I will most likely be streaming next week on Thursday. For all of the updates of when exactly I'm streaming, you can find me on Instagram, Marcos Trading Journey. Okay, you can find me here, and I post all of the updates about my live stream schedule on my Instagram account. So give that a follow. Thank you very much for watching. Just a brief summary. What is still the play? In my opinion, the play is still to sell the dollar. I still believe that dollar shorts could be active. Now, I'm looking at the euro dollar, NZD USD, Aussie dollar. I'm flat. I don't have any positions, but if we get a pullback, close to the 20 MA, I may take another stab at it, especially NZD USD. So if we can pull back a bit, get a brief correction, bounce, I'll try to maybe get in on another position. So that's my plan. Marco did the right thing with not risking much on NZD USD, as it could have pulled back before pushing up. Possibly. I just wanted to close it into year's end, if I'm being honest. You know, it is the 11th of December. Markets are gonna quiet down a bit. I think this move that we had was a great opportunity to take profits. That's about it. I think a pullback is gonna happen. So thank you for watching. Thank you everyone for your comments, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.